We heard the story. Uh, TD Bank does not give a black businesswoman her money. And this woman was basically, she put the money into the bank by check a day earlier with the same teller, as a matter of fact. And then she goes to take the money out of the bank with the same teller. And the teller, is checking her account. She's like, maybe this is just the way things go. And then she has the money and she says, I don't feel comfortable giving it to you. And the black woman said, you just saw the check clear. Like, what's the problem? This is all legal. Like, I'm not doing anything. And she's a businesswoman. She was actually taking the money and, using it for business. It wasn't even for personal use. And then the white woman says, I know, but I don't feel comfortable. You know, this is just like the police saying, uh, when they do something they know is criminal, like check your car, they'll go, yeah, but we're just checking. Or when they frisk you without your permission and they say, yeah, we're just checking to see if you have anything dangerous on you. Well, you're not allowed to do that unless somebody gives you consent to frisk them. You know what I'm saying? You're not allowed to check somebody's vehicle unless they give you consent, but they casually say something and then break the law. So in this case, that's what this teller is doing. She's casually saying, well, I don't feel comfortable giving you this $1,000 and then breaking the law. This is when you need to call EEOC and then, of course, get yourself a regular lawyer because EEOC doesn't sue. They just prove that something happens and then they go ahead and try to get that company to implement laws so they do not discriminate. But nonetheless, if you still got evidence of there's discrimination at play, then you can go ahead and sue that company. Now, this woman just went to another TD bank and, did her due diligence. But even before that, she went outside the same bank, went to the ATM and withdrew the maximum amount she could, which I think is usually around $300, and then went to another TD bank and said, hey, I need, $700 or whatever. And they were like, sure, did the business. So it was clearly this one person who had the issue. Now, the reason why I'm talking about it, a lot of other people talking about it too, and you can actually hear the report, is because this is not the first time this has happened. There was another woman a couple of years ago where she had uh, gained a large amount of money legally. It's all legal. And I think she hit the lottery. And it was for a small amount, but nonetheless, it was significant. And she took the check to the bank, her account, and then threw it in there and waited a couple days until the check cleared. She did her due diligence. And then, bang, she went to withdraw through the bank and said, hey, I want to get so and so amount. And they started a conversation with her. This was interesting because you know how the bank casually talks to you, and you're just like, that's just the bank teller talking to me. Well, sometimes the teller could be scanning you for information to see if anything fraudulent is happening. All right. So basically, what they did was they start asking her certain questions because they're not used to seeing this large amount in her account, even though it shows where the money came from. It's like this came from a legitimate place. She cashed the check. Now she walked in there with a whole bunch of cash and put it in there, and then came in the next day and wanted to withdraw the cash. You're going, okay, where is this whole bunch of cash come from? If you go to a car lot and you go and buy a car that's over $10,000 and you bring cash, you're gonna get dinged. the federal government is going to be, looking at that and going, where did you get $10,000 worth of cash? Even though you could be a legit businessman. The police, especially on roads, I think going to Texas, have been stopping people and pulling them out the car. They stopped this one black man, him and another black man's in the car. They stopped them. They got them out the car. They illegally searched their car, and they found an amount of like $40,000 in the car. And the police confiscated the money, and they confiscated the money and kept it. And they said, "Where'd you get this money from?" And he's like, "I'm a businessman. I travel with large amounts of money. I have a legitimate business." Well, they didn't believe him, so they kept the money, and basically the police stole the money and then pretty much tried to tie it up in court and let them know, yeah, you're not going to get your money back. You're going to have to hire a lawyer. By the time you do all that, the money's going to be ours. And then they used the excuse there's been a lot of drug trafficking in this area. So if anyone is traveling with large amounts of money, they go ahead and take the money from you, and then you don't get your money back, even though you're a legitimate business person. They've even had police on video talking to truckers, and because they assume that the truckers are the ones who are doing this, and they was talking to one trucker, and he said, "Listen, we don't care about anything else, but where's the money? It's just gang activity. It's what it is." So back to the bank teller. So in this other case, this woman who had this large amount of money, she was like, I won this money legally. This is where it came from. You know where it came from. They can track where the check is going. Now, I want to stop right there and talk about an incident that happened to me. I was on an online, I tried to start an online business. I had some people from, I don't even think they were from this country. Basically, my online business, it was legit, is where you go ahead and buy a large quantity of electronics and then go ahead and try to sell those electronics. In this case, I think it was like 4 or 5 Game Boys. They were worth like $4,500 or somewhere around there at the time. The scammers, what they do is say, I want to buy your bundle of Game Boys. And you say, okay. And they say, well, we're going to go ahead. And they say, I'm going to send you the money in not a check, but they'll send it to you money, not a money order, but dang it, I thought I forgot what it's called. Hey, happy Sunday to you, Star Baby. How you doing? But so they'll send it to you, and it's not a money order. It's like something you see that comes out of a bank. I forgot what it's called, but they send it to you, and you're just like, okay, that's a legitimate form coming from a bank. So when they send it to you, before it gets to when it gets to your door, they start emailing you again and ask you, did you get it? And you're just like, yes, I got it. And they say, go ahead and release the Game Boys to me. And you're just like, and any gullible person, how you doing? Shoot, I'm doing all right. I'm kicking it. You know what I'm saying? I'm up, got my cranberry juice. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, peace to you too, my sister. So basically, so they want you to release the Game Boy once you get the UPS, you know, package with your money order in it or whatever it is that they're using. That's coming from a bank. So you're just like, normally you'd be like, okay, go ahead and release, boom, and then you would take your, your money statement and then go down to a bank and cash it. But I told them, I said, I'm not releasing this until I put it in the bank and the bank tells me it's good. So it was in an amount of like $4,600. And I was just like, this is a lot of money. I'm not going to put it in my bank. So I went and opened a whole new bank account, but I went into a white area, which I, didn't mean to do that, but I just happened to go to Bank One in a white area. And when I walked in there, the people were afraid of me. They thought I was going to rob the place. The bank tellers, all the female bank tellers they were looking at me like this. They really thought it was going down. And then I ended up talking to one. And I said, "Why are they looking at me like that?" They said, "We're not used to seeing your kind in here." This is what the people at the bank told me. So I said, "Listen, I just want to open an account. Like, I'm not here to rob anybody. I want to open an account and I want to put this into an account." So I did that. I opened an account and they said, "You're able to take." Thank you for the video. Very informative. And no problem, sister. You know me. I like to tell all the information I can to help out the sisters and brothers out there. So I took whatever that was, that it was a MoneyGram or something. It wasn't a MoneyGram because it was from a bank. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, I deposited in and I waited till it cleared. Now the whole time I'm waiting, the days that I'm waiting till it clear, and also once you do that, you can take out $100. So I took out $100. All right, put the $100 in my pocket. I really didn't need it, but I took it anyway. So once I deposit that, I wanted to see if it was clear, right? The whole time, the Africans, I think there was an African or Jamaica, but the name was Tom John or something stupid like that, is badgering me and telling me that they're going to call the police on me if I don't release the Game Boys to them. And I kept telling them in the email, "I'm not releasing anything to you until this check clears." So I waited and I waited, and then I called down there. Well, I didn't call it. I went down there, and they said no. I called, and they said it did not clear. They said it was fake, and so I went to a different branch to and they closed the account, and they said you defrauded us, and I said I didn't defraud you. I didn't defraud you whatsoever. I didn't do anything. I said I owe you $100. Here's your $100. What I did was test to see if I was getting ready to get defrauded. And I used a whole different bank account to do it instead of my bank account. So basically, they said if you follow because it was to another bank. So they said if you follow the routing numbers and the account numbers, you're going to see that one of them is fake. And when it showed up fake, I went back to my email and I said, "I'm not releasing them because you sent me a fake one." Don't you know they sent me another fake check about 2 days later? I didn't even bother with it. I just took it and ripped it up and got rid of it because I already knew what the deal was. So there's a lot of frauding going on when it comes to bank accounts. So you got to be careful. And I understand that the people, the tellers have to do their job. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because yeah, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this white woman is the one who took the check from the black lady the day before, and then the woman waited, and then the black lady waited until the check cleared. So she knows the process. This is a businesswoman. This is somebody who cashes checks all the time, does the same thing all the time. This is what she does. You see her often. She's not hiding. You know who she is. You know what I'm saying? If they come in the bank at 1 o'clock one day and then 1 o'clock the next day, this person isn't hiding from you. They know that the check needs to go through a process to clear, and then boom, the check clears. And especially if you have an account with a certain amount in it, they don't really waste time for the check to clear because you don't want to frustrate the customer and then they take all their money out because they will. So I'm just saying I've experienced some racism at banks. One time, when I was working for when I was, suit and tie, working downtown, I walked into a bank and there was a line and there was these two Asian girls, and there was me and another brother, suit and tie, and we were waiting, and these girls started laughing at us. So we were like looking like y'all, they were acting like they didn't want to help us. And I was like, "Yo, excuse me, is there a problem?" And and then they said something jokingly and kept laughing. And and then I went to the bank manager and talked to her. And I was like, listen, I come to do business here, yada yada yada. And she gave some poor excuse or whatever. But I felt bad that me and my man's two black men, legitimate, were in there nicely dressed, and we can't get proper service. So little did those bozo goofy chicks know that at that time I worked for the Ohio House of Representatives. So I went upstairs to my job, and I called down to the bank and I said, yeah, my name's so and so, and this is the office I work in, and I work for the Ohio House of Representatives. Now, is there a problem? Because I was just in there, and I will call EEOC so fast to make your head spin. I'll call NAACP, and I threatened them with all kind of other stuff. And the next time I went in there, those girls didn't have a crack on their face. They helped us, boom, boom, boom. We were in, we were out. They were like, oh no, we're sorry. Yeah, you goddamn right you're sorry, because I'll have this place surrounded. All right? Oh, your asses will not be working here. Don't be all high and mighty because of your race and then try to look down on me and another black man in here doing business. This is America, Jack. You take that somewhere else. So I've been discriminated in banks before. You know what I'm saying? I've had people try to treat me any old kind of way in banks until they find out that I'm a legitimate, businessman. I'm not in here for you. I don't care about you. But nonetheless, there are people who know the I'll read your comment in a minute. These tellers know the process. And when a check comes in, there's only so much time before they know if this check is good or bad. I mean, it's electronic. They know pretty much right away. And if you come in 24 hours, you can come back in there, your check is either good or bad. So there's no excuse for this lady to say she doesn't feel comfortable with you coming and getting your money. She had no legitimate reason not to feel comfortable, except she's a racist pig. A lot of yeah, yeah. She's just a racist pig. All that's to it. Comfort. We don't care about your comfort. We're not here for your comfort. A lot of people are very deceptive, and you could you are smart enough to catch it. Yes, very much so. They weren't gonna get me with that. That's exactly what I do. I get higher ups on the scene, and I'm like, you damn right. Yeah, you damn right. Now I ended up stopping that online business because it was flooded with scammers, and I just didn't feel safe with it anymore. I didn't want nothing to do with the business, and it profited me nothing at all. Like, I didn't make any money whatsoever, so I just stopped doing it. But I've faced scammers before online, and these guys are really, 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 really good at what they do. But a lot of times you can catch them. Like, scammers call me all the time and try to hit me with an insurance scam, or they try to tell me that you know I don't know, something with my car, or they try to scam you all the time. And nowadays, when a scammer calls me, I either one hang up just out of frustration, like, how'd you get my number, or two, listen to the whole thing of what they're saying so I can relay it back to you guys. And I waste their time. Now, recently, there was a scam on Facebook that actually got a guy I know, I've known him for a minute. And what he did was he hit me on Messenger, and he said, "Hey, did you get a message from so and so?" Which is somebody who we're both friends with. And I said, "No, I didn't." No, he said, "I got a message from her that she's doing this whole program, and she's using Cash App to do it. And if you send a certain amount of money, then they will go ahead and like, if you send $200 to them, then they will go ahead and send $500, and this is going to this worthy cause. And they're in this state." Now, the thing that got him was the individual woman that he was talking about who had, supposedly sent him the message is somebody who travels. So it wasn't, and it was seeming like they needed the money. So, I can understand how he thought that his friend needed money, so on and so forth. So I said, dude, I said, no, I didn't, get any message like that, but I'll look into it. And then finally, I did get a message like that. And this whole thing was ran through Cash App, where you send money, and basically, here's how it goes: you send money to Cash App, whoever this person is on Cash App, who you think is your friend, and they're supposedly send you $1,500 back. So you make $1,200, overnight. But they use the federal government, and that's where I got them. They said the federal government, FEMA, is helping people out through whatever for COVID-19 and yada yada yada. So it made it seem like it was a humanitarian job that they were doing. You usually get a response within 24 hours or less. Yeah, that's true. So they made it seem like it was a humanitarian thing that your friend is doing. Everybody has a friend on Facebook who does a lot of humanitarian things. So they used this individual person, and it was basically a fake account. She wasn't out of state. She wasn't blah blah. So when they start texting me, I was like, pretty much saying, I was asking her questions like, "How are your children?" And I said, "How are the twins doing?" Well, she doesn't have twins. You know what I'm saying? So I started asking particular questions, and at one time I got a response because they tried this on me a couple times, and they says, and the person said, "I never talked to you about my children." So they got smart. They were like, "I've never talked to you about my children." Yada yada yada. Are you interested in a deal or not? And I just kept leading them on and leading them on and stringing them out and wasting their time because I knew it was a scam. FEMA does not have a program that runs through Cash App where you give FEMA money. FEMA doesn't ask you for money. So if you come across that, it's a whole scam. But this guy got scammed out of $500. And he called me and he said that was my last $500. And I felt for him, but I wasn't about to give him any money. I was like, yeah, you need to call the police. Like I feel for you, but I talk to you once every maybe 10 years. Like we're not even friends. You're just somebody I know. You know what I'm saying? Like you're somebody I know at poetry. Like we're not friends like I'm not your homeboy like that. You can't call me and ask me for money. So I felt for him, but I was just like, yeah, it's a scam, bro. You got scammed, you know. So there's all kind of scams going on there. But this white woman is just a racist, and the bank is trying to cover for her. And the Black Lives Matter people went and they were outside of the bank protesting. And then the bank, of course, gives some kind of half-cocked story of how they do not discriminate when they clearly discriminated. And the bank tellers also, if they feel uncomfortable giving you money, what they will do, they can do a number of things. They can actually just call the police on you right there until they find out that they're the ones who are making it all up, like they did the black youngster. But nonetheless, you can get arrested, and anything can happen. Of course, police are shooting people, so you can end up dying from one of their phone calls, and or they can shut your account down, like they did to the one black lady who won the lottery. They literally shut her account down and said her account was under investigation, even though they knew exactly where the money was coming from. And that's just a form of being racist. And I'm hoping she sued the bank for that. Like, I'm hoping she got a lot of money out of that because she was using that money for her bills. She won the money legitimately. And because she was black, they shut her account down and they said she's under investigation. So she couldn't go online and draw money. She couldn't go to the teller and draw money. She couldn't go to the bank machine and draw money. She couldn't use the money to feed herself. No, nothing. They completely locked her account down on a fake suspicion. simply because when they were talking to her, and this is a different case, when they were talking to this woman, they asked her where she got the money from, and she pretty much said, I hit the lottery, and and they act like they didn't believe her, even though they had the staunch evidence right there. There's the evidence right there. This is where I got the money from, and she didn't want to talk to them anymore because they kept asking her questions about it, and it was like, there's the proof right there. Like, why are you asking me questions? And they said, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and put your account under investigation. Like, what else do you want her to say? You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping a lawyer came and did a whole pro bono and then sued the bank, and they had to pay this woman, a couple $100,000 for discriminatory and and all this other stuff. But I'm saying that to say another thing is, a lot of us are getting $1,400. This lady, this black lady from TD, she was withdrawing $1,000. Okay? A lot of us are about to get our stimulus check, right? And some of it is coming in the form of an actual check. So, mind what's happening here with this woman. This is an example of what can happen to you right now today. All right. You can take that check, even though it comes straight from the government. They can track it and everything like that, and then put that into your account. They know it's going to clear the same day, and you can go back 2 days and get it, and they can say, we don't feel comfortable, as if that's some kind of, like, what does that mean? Like, we don't feel comfortable giving you your money that the government sent to you. They can legitimately do this. Now, the good thing is they did not freeze this woman's account. But they still pretty much harassed her and made her feel, it's still discrimination. So I'm just telling you guys. Gilchon, what up? Yo, what's up? How you doing today? Yeah, so you guys are about to get $1,000. You're about to get $1,400 if you haven't already got it. You guys, look out for this type of stuff. Look out for this type of bank harassment. Looking good, my guy. Thanks, man. I ain't comb my hair today. I'll usually just throw a hat on. But you know what? I'm happy nappy. So it is what it is. What day, my bro? Yeah. So be careful, because this type of thing is happening, and it's gonna happen to a lot. It's gonna happen to a lot more people. It's not just gonna be an isolated case. These banks are going to make attempts to stop you from getting your money. They've been doing this to us forever. They're going to do whatever they can to harass you and make you feel uncomfortable getting your money. I'm just telling you guys right now, it's coming down the pipe. What are you going to do with your money? You know what? I made a couple videos about that. I'm going to invest it. Yeah, my hustle game has been pretty tight. I reached my financial mark that I wanted to get to. And right now, I'm doing all right. I'm not hurting for anything. My financial game it's stabilized. And they keep robbing us every day, no doubt. So I stabilized, and I don't really have I don't have an immediate need for the money. So I'm going to try something I've never done before, and I'm gonna, I'm looking at, mutual funds and the stock market. So I'm looking at an aggressive mutual fund. So that's what I'm gonna do with it. I'm going to put I'm gonna get two mutual funds. One is gonna be with the S&P 500, so I know that's a stable 13%. And the other one is going to be an aggressive mutual fund from companies that I'm going to pick, or I'm going to have a banker pick for me. So yeah, that's what I want to do with it. And I'm trying to see if I can get in between 13 to 30% on the stock market on a yearly basis. And yeah, I'm trying to, and if that works out, then I might go ahead and dip into a CD, but a CD is only in between 4 to 7%. And I mean, it's not terrible, but it's nowhere near what a mutual fund is going to give you. I'm also old enough to go ahead and put money into a Rothie, which is a Roth IRA. So I'm looking at that too. But first, I want to dip into the mutual fund game. I'm thinking $500 in a mutual fund, $500 into $500 into the S&P, $500 into a mutual fund that I pick. The S&P is a Fortune 500. Those are companies that they're always, that mutual fund is the same. Those companies never change. So an aggressive mutual fund where you pick is just the companies you pick. You're hoping the company's going to do good. So if you're going with Apple, you're going with Facebook, you got a couple new companies out there you're going with, you put those all into your full portfolio, and then you go ahead with that, and see if you can beat the S&P. That's what it is. See if you can beat the Fortune 500, and that's the real trick. Can I beat the average of the S&P? But the S&P is kind of safer. It's a safer route. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to do. I want to split it up into three. I want to take 500 S&P, 500 regular mutual aggressive fund, 400 dip it into, yeah, and then I want to take 400 and go ahead and start a CD. And I want to see if I can, and the ones that I'm looking at is a Morgan Stanley. I want to go through Morgan Stanley and get a CD, and see if I can get a rate of at least 5%, and then look at some dividends that are going to come off of that. So that's what I want to do with my stimulus check. I'm going to pretty much, lightweight gamble with it. See if I can, get some dividends, within a year or two, and see if they're going to start turning over. Everything I'm going to do is on a yearly basis too. I'm not going to do it on a 3 month or a 6 month. You know what I mean? I'm going to do it for a whole year. Just let it sit there and do my calculations on a year. And if they work, and the stock market grows, or the S&P grows, or whatever, what have you, then I'm going to, for one, I'm going to take my YouTube checks, which I get paid once every 3 months, so I don't get paid a lot, but it's at least $100. So I'm going to start trickling my YouTube checks into all three of these accounts. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just split up the value of 33 point whatever dollars and say I want this to go into my mutual fund, this to go into my S&P, this to go into my CD. And so every 3 months I'll feed all three entities. And I'll just keep doing that until in perpetuity. And just keep feeding those entities, just and whatever. What I'm doing is I'm using a passive income to feed my mutual funds, because your mutual funds are going to make dividends, right? Your CD is going to make dividends. Eventually, the whole game is, can I live off of the dividends? That's what you're really trying to do. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get up to a point where you have a large amount of money that's being made off of your mutual fund, off your CD. Well, not off your CD, but at least off your mutual funds. You have a decent amount being made, and then you take the dividends each year, and then you just keep it on top, and you never take it out, and you keep the dividends going until it's enough to where the dividends can pay your bills. Now, $500 is not going to get it. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep feeding it once every 3 months or once a month or whatever passive income that you have, if you keep feeding it, it's just going to go. And you got to understand, a lot of CDs start off with $1. You can do it for 3 months. So, if you get the CDs that are at higher rates, some of them start off at $500. So you gotta, you can kind of pick which route you want to go. I did a couple of videos on finances, and stuff that I'm just now learning, and how to manage your money. And I'm encouraging people, if you do not need this money, do not take it and put it into a savings account and leave it there, which is what some people are going to do, and or they're going to go out in the economy and spend it. I'm telling you, listen, the stimulus check is to stimulate the economy. I get that, but you can also stimulate the economy and not lose your money. You can put it into the market, which is growing. Especially now. Right now is the best time to get into the market because everything is growing, it's escalating again. You know what I'm saying? So you can go ahead and put your money into a safe account, or everything is risk, but something that's a low risk, and then say, okay, I'm going to go with the S&P. That's low risk. Those are Fortune 500 companies. They're the same companies, so they're lower risk. So I'm just going to go with them, and I'm not going to try to beat them. Or you can go ahead and just start getting stock yourself. Yeah, and I mean, invest in your future. Because you got to understand, after a year, that's going to make you money. Listen, it's going to make you money closer before a year's over. Some of these statements come out monthly. So you're seeing what your dividends are monthly. Now it's up to you to keep the dividends in there or not. But, you know what I'm saying? If you put $1,400 into a CD that's 0.4%, you're going to make $56 a year. The second year, you're going to add $2.24 to it each year. So that's what you're going to make. That's 4% of 1,400. So at the end of 4 years, you're looking at 200, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, somewhere like $212 at the end of 4 years. But the thing about it is, if you didn't need that money and you leave it into a savings account, you're going to make 0.01%, which is pretty much nothing. So you can put it into a CD that's making 4%, and in some cases, these CDs are making 7%. You know what I'm saying? You can call Ponce Bank and say, "Hey, I want to put $1,000 into a CD that's making 7%." They go, "Okay, the CD has to stay in here for over a year." You're just like, "Fine, do it." It's not, I already have money that's sitting in the bank anyway, so fine, do it. So now instead of your savings account giving you 0.001 or whatever the hell it's doing, it's not doing much. Now you're doing in between 4 to 7%. So I don't know what 7%. Well, 7% of 1,000 is 70, and then you go 7% of 400 and figure out what that is. So 72 something, $72. I'm saying it beats a zero. And then that rolls over and you get an incremental income because You're set now. There's 72 point whatever in there, and the same thing's happening each year, 72, 72. But like I said, what eventually you want to do is get it to where you're living off of the dividend. So you don't just put $1,000 in there and say, okay, it's 7%. I'm gonna get $70 off of the year. Big whoop, $70 in a year. Well, here's the big thing about it. If you keep feeding that same fund money that you don't need immediately, that's the whole idea. That 72 is going to skyrocket. You put another $100 in every 3 months. Just throw it in there. That $100 is going to make $7. That's what's happening. That $100 is making $7. Every $100 you put in there is making $7. And then eventually, as the years go by, or in the first year, $7, and then it's, the percentage goes up from there. Well, the percentage doesn't go up from there, but your dividend goes up from there. And eventually, you can get it to. I mean, if you got $10,000 into a CD, and okay, now what's $10,000 getting me at 70% and yada yada yada? Okay, it's doing something now. Now you can look at paying your rent. That's the idea. Now you got a dividend to where, boom, hold on, let me see something. And that's the idea. Okay, so if you got $10,000 in there, it's $700. So if you had a CD, this is just a CD. This is not even a mutual fund. This is just a CD. So if you got $10,000 into a CD, you're making $700 a year off of that. You can pay a bill off of that. You see what I mean? So you already know, to get it where you can pay a bill monthly off of this, you're going to have to put in, especially if it stays the same at 7%, you're going to have to put in, you're going to have to keep feeding the machine. But let's see what a monthly, let's say your monthly bill is, say that you had a month, say that you have, your rent is, I don't know, $1,000. So your goal is to get your CD to pay you dividends of $1,000. All right? So, you're going to have your hustle game going on. So you're looking at, what is 70% of, this is the highest CD out there right now, which is through Ponds Bank. The rest of them are 6, 5.5, 5, and 4. And this is long term for the majority of them. All right? So long term meaning over a year, and then some are 4 years. All right? So $20,000, of course, is going to get you $1,400. This is in a year. All right? Most of us ain't got $20,000 laying around, that we don't actively need. But it gives you a goal, because now your savings account is making you money. So you're not the only one out there producing and having your money and then getting a paycheck and then putting the money into a CD. That's, what I'm saying? You're not the only person, you're not the only entity that's doing it. Now your CD is actually doing it. You see what I mean? So you and your CD are putting money into the same CD that's constantly making money, and then boom, this is not so far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? If you throw it into aggressive mutual fund, $20,000 just doesn't seem like a lot of money. It's like, oh, well, this is actually obtainable. You're going $20,000. I ain't got $20,000. Well, this is how you get $20,000. I'm really digging the The background music. Oh, thanks, Star. Yeah, it's pretty peaceful. It's good talking music. Well, this is how you get $20,000. You know, you're like, I only have $1,000 to my name. You know, what do I do? Well, if you're still interested in the same thing, there are CDs that you can start off with $1. You know what I'm saying? You got $1,000 to your name. There's a good chance you're like, no, I'm not going to put it none into a CD. But nonetheless, you have the information. See, there was a point where I didn't even have $1 in my house, and that wasn't too long ago. Only a few years back. I even made a video about it, saying that I was broke. But when you see me in a video, like, why would somebody get on a video talk about they're broke? It's because I knew I was still doing things to get me to a place where I wasn't going to be broke. The video wasn't for me, it was for you. It was for people who are broke out there to keep going at it. And now I'm talking about putting $1,400 into a CD for a whole year, so it's clear that I'm not broke anymore. You see what I mean? Like it, you know, I only got $1,000. This $1,400, that's going to help me. Yeah, that's cool. Keep that $1,400 with you. That's your rainy day money. However, if you're still producing, if you're still making money, then now you have your rainy day money saved up, right? Your next paycheck, you can start looking at that paycheck and going, I can actually do something with this paycheck. Other than just pay all these bills. You know what I'm saying? If you're breaking, you know, I don't know if you ever heard of a break-even analysis. But if you're breaking even, if your paycheck and your bills are breaking even, then you're broke. You're broke. That's it. And that's where I was. All the money that I had coming in, it put me right there at boom. I didn't have an extra dime to do anything with. And I would run out of food and all that other stuff. And I was like, now it's time I got to do something. So, of course, I started digging in the garbage and selling it. And that's how I got to where I am today. I started selling people's trash. You know, I figured out what was valuable and what wasn't. And boom, I started selling it. Come to find out that people like buying people's trash. If you know what to look for, people will buy it. You never would believe how much money is in trash. And now yeah, gotta come at that point too. Yeah, I got on to that point. Yeah, well, you're broke. So now you got a $1,400. Now here's a good thing about the $1,400. You got $1,400. You're still not making any more money, but now you got $1,400, and now that's a rainy day fund. I mean, it's scary, but it's still $1,400. It's like, okay, I got a rainy day fund. Now don't get your mind messed up and go, I got $1,400, I'm gonna blow it. No, you got $1,400, you're still broke. But now, if a flat tire hits you, it doesn't take you below zero. You got money to go ahead and fix the flat and still get to work. Right? You can still produce. Sorry about that. So you can still produce, right? You can still produce. You can still go out and make money, cover your bills, boom. Now you have a rainy day fund. Don't touch the rainy day fund. Just leave it there, okay? It's in your savings account. And the reason why it's a rainy day fund is because anything happens, boom, you can get a hold of that money. So you don't want to tie that up into a CD or a mutual fund because they're going to take money from you if you go in and reach in and grab that money. You're going to do that. Well, I've already done that. I have a rainy day fund. I have a rainy day fund. I have a piggy bank. You know what I'm saying? I have, yeah, I'm not playing around because I couldn't even buy a bottle of water. I was looking around my house for pennies. I was selling my electronics. Oh no, bro, I'm on some whole other stuff now. I'm on some whole, bro. I'm not playing with nobody. Quarter, nickel, dime, my brother. I'm not playing with nobody. Yeah, I'm serious about my pennies. Yeah, I'm serious about my dough. So basically, what I'm saying is now you have a rainy day fund, right? So what you want to do is you want to get your rainy day fund to where you have this is just money that you can access easily, where it can cover all your bills for at least a month. And when you're really good, and when your rainy day fund is really good, is when you can cover your bills for 3 months. When you can cover your bills for 3 months. So you look at how much money you got in the bank right now, and on you, like how much money you got access to right now, how much liquid you got right now. You look at that money and go, can I pay my fixed costs? That's your mortgage or your rent. That's your light, your gas, all your fixed bills that come in constantly. Your phone, not your cable, because you don't need cable. Not your internet bill, because you don't need that. You can get your internet shut off. You can get your phone shut off. You can get the Disney Channel shut off. You can get all those extra things that are eating into your. And if you're just breaking even in your checks anyway, you shouldn't have none of that stuff. You should not give a damn about the sports channel, because that's $13 that could be going into your savings account. All right, Netflix, and you should cut all those off. If you got kids, so what? Your kids will live. 5,000 G's for now, waiting for the. Okay, so you got $5,000. I don't know what your mortgage. You didn't have to tell us that. You just have a Wi-Fi for that. Yeah, you didn't have to tell us that. But okay, so it's a good round number, and that's a great number. $5,000 is a great number, right? Because you got your rainy day covered up to at least probably 2 or 3 months, right? You could pay all your bills, all your fixed costs. You could probably 2 or 3 months with that. Let's just say your fixed cost is $1,200. No, we'll just say $1,500. Shoot, that's that's $3,000 right there. Boom, $4,000 or $5,000. So you're good. So for 3 months, if something goes down, boom, you got 3 months of rent of everything that you need. Boom. So you got your rainy day covered, plus some. You could actually probably take $1,000 of that and throw it into something, and you'll still be fine. You know what I'm saying? You'll still be okay, because you can access that $4,000. If anything happens, now you got $1,000 that you can actually send that $1,000 off. Yeah, you're good. So you got 1,000. You can actually hold that $4,000 in the bank because you need access to something real quick. So you can go down to the bank. I need this now. This is happening. Boom. Right? Boom. You can take $1,000 of that and say, I want to venture into something new. I want to send these soldiers out to get more soldiers for my army. I got rid of cable years. Yep. Never paid TV again. There you go. Yeah, I just do everything on my computer. And I only watch channels when my show's on. Like I just start paying for Disney again. But they tried to get me with Disney, Hulu, and all that. I was like, nah, I just want Disney. And that's just because the Winter Soldier and the Hawk is on. So I'm going to watch that. And when that's over with, I cut it off. I don't leave it running. Yeah, I don't leave those, I don't let them keep taking money from me. You know what I'm saying? If I stop going to a particular gym, you know what I'm saying? That's $13 a month. I just go down to the gym and I close my account temporarily. When I needed money, I cut off everything that I didn't need. I cut off, like, I go to two different gyms. You know what I'm saying? I cut them both off. I cut off Netflix, the Disney Channel, Amazon. I cut all three of those off. You know what I'm saying? And that yielded me like 70, $80 instantly. Boom, boom, boom. That money hit my account. I was like, I need that $80 right now. I need that. So there's a lot of savings that are already within your grasp. But nonetheless, so you have $4,000, you got $5,000, you can take $1,000 and put those in the two different mutual funds that are pretty safe. Everything has a little bit of risk, but even if you want less risk, you can take $500 and throw it into a CD. Now your soldiers are bringing soldiers back to you. Now that's a smart thing to do. And you can just take the $500 and put it into a CD. You don't have to take, the whole $1,000. Just take $500 and put it into a CD and go, you know what? Go get me more soldiers for my army. And every month, that's what they're doing. They're bringing you more soldiers. And then it gets good to you. Just like, yeah, you pretty good at bringing me more soldiers for this army. Here, I'm going to give you more soldiers so you can get more soldiers to get to this army. And once it really gets good to you, next thing you know, you're throwing all your passive income at the same concept of bringing soldiers back to you. And now, it's doing it itself. Conversation. Okay, anyways, we were talking about money. Sorry about that, guys. I had a businessman call me, and okay, well, everybody's gone. All right, guys, peace.